Hamas has rejected a plan by U.S. President Donald Trump to take control of the Gaza Strip and relocate its population. The Washington Post reports that a 38-page prospectus is being circulated by the administration. Its title is Gaza Reconstruction, Economic Acceleration and Transformation Trust, or in short, GREAT. Its goal is to transform the territory after the war is over and Hamas is dismantled and create a trade, tech, and tourism center. The details largely echo Trump's proposal in February to turn Gaza into what he called the Riviera of the Middle East. The Washington Post says the initiative proposes U.S. custodianship over Gaza for at least 10 years, during which most of the reconstruction should be completed. Now, during that time, all 2 million Gazans should be relocated to other countries or to designated restricted zones in the Gaza Strip. Israel will gradually reduce its military activity, but will maintain overarching control over security. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation will expand its operations to oversee all humanitarian needs. The cost of reconstruction of the whole Gaza Strip is estimated at 70 to 100 billion US dollars. The White House has not confirmed the details. Well, for more analysis, I'm joined now by Laura Blumenfeld. She's a Middle East analyst with Johns Hopkins University. She joins us from Washington, D.C. Laura, it's good to see you again. Relocating 2 million people, putting Gaza under U.S. control and rebuilding it with billions in private investments. Is that plan even remotely realistic, legally and practically?
Well, it's a fascinating plan, and most of it is far-fetched. Sections of it are funny, like the Elon Musk smart manufacturing zone. It just sounds comical. And parts of it are frightening. As you mentioned, the plan expects that at least 25% of Gaza's current population will choose what they call voluntary transfer to another country. Some would call it ethnic cleansing. Although they do expect that 75% of the Palestinians will choose to stay in Gaza, the idea that circumstances and conditions are so unbearable that, people would choose to leave their land, raises a lot of concerns.
What about the key regional players here? I mean, could a plan like this, could it actually win support from both Israel and major Arab countries such as Egypt or Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think it should be clear this isn't so much a plan for an Israeli occupation, but it's really turning Gaza from what they call an Iranian outpost into an American outpost. President Trump, as we know, has been colony shopping, right? He talked about Canada as the next state, or Panama, or acquiring Greenland. So to the extent that the Arab countries buy into this, it just depends on if they want to partner with President Trump. Today, the UAE made very clear that the red line for annexation of the West Bank by Israel would not be acceptable for them. But could they partner with President Trump for some kind of commercial development of the Gaza Strip? I mean, that's an interesting question.
I mean, is this a plan by President Trump or by the real estate magnate, Donald Trump?
He is one and the same. I mean, what his presidency is about Trump Incorporated. And again, that's a fascinating question because perhaps you could see a 10-year plan like this realized if he were in fact King Trump. But, we'll have a new president, whether it's in 3.5 years or perhaps even sooner. We never know. I can't imagine any Democrat or frankly any Republican wanting to commit so deeply and personally to a strip of land with a terrible, tragic history as Gaza. There has never been a kind of winning proposal for Gaza in the years that we've been struggling with it. I've been to Gaza for decades. And even when it was, under Palestinian leadership, and it was a nice beach, but Khan Yunis never was Khan. It never was going to be a Riviera. And that has to be clear. There's no recognition of the religious connection to the territory, of the ethnic and cultural kind of friction between a Western vision and a traditional Islamic country, which it is today.
And let's just assume that this plan is accepted. Let's assume 75% of the Gazans stay. What happens in 10 years when reconstruction has been completed? Will these Gazans, will they be allowed to move back in? I mean, do they get new homes? Do they get new apartments? At what price? I mean, has any of that been detailed?
Yes, it's all laid out. And as you showed on the screen earlier, it's a green, beautiful strip of land with kind of steel-built high-rises. It's unrecognizable as the Gaza today or the Gaza of any time. And it talks about a kind of Palestinian political presence. It doesn't call it a Palestinian state because the Israelis have been very clear. Prime Minister Netanyahu has always said that any condition for a Palestinian autonomous entity, state, authority has to remain, security must remain in Israeli hands. And certainly after October 7th, I don't see the Israelis turning over security or the military to the Palestinians.
And could this plan, or the suggestion of it, could it actually make things worse by fueling the anger and deepening the conflict?
Well, the hope is, if it is rejected, at least it will spur a kind of creative thinking by the Arab states themselves or the Palestinians to give them some agency. The French and Saudi Arabia are meeting on September 22nd to come up with their own plan for recognizing Palestinian statehood. Now, in some ways, the hope is that that doesn't become an empty gesture of all words and aspiration, while this Trump plan is kind of a ground up. So if you could marry the two and combine this kind of economic prosperity, aspirational kind of very gritty ground up plan with a political horizon that the French and the Saudis are presenting, then we'll have something that we can work with.
Okay. Laura Blumenfeld with Johns Hopkins University. Laura, as always, we appreciate your time and your insights. Thank you.
For most Gazans, this is daily life. Crammed into tent cities. This is Al-Mawasi, a refugee camp in southern Gaza. The makeshift camp stretches as far as the eye can see. The shelters packed so tightly that families live wall to wall, or sheet to sheet. Thousands fled here after Israel declared northern Gaza and Gaza City combat zones. This camp is now one of the most crowded places on earth. And still, for those inside, there is no real refuge.
My daughter, my husband, and I are elderly and sick. We have a tent only 2 meters wide. There's no space. We eat, cook, and light fires in the tent. There's no room to expand. It's overcrowded here. This causes disease. There are no cleaning supplies or anything. People are suffering from everything.
Aid groups also warn that this camp is far from safe. The Israeli military has targeted tents in Al-Mawasi before. According to reports, dozens of families were killed here. And yet, more Palestinians are ordered to move in, to a place with no infrastructure or real protection. In the middle of this, children are trying to start their school year, but not in regular classrooms.
Here they are sitting in tents, living the tent life, in war, in hot weather. Everyone is still striving for education. We're never giving up on it, and we consider it the pinnacle of everything. An educated person can do anything.
According to the UN, nearly all education facilities in Gaza have been damaged. Now, children like 15-year-old Rimas are paying the price.
We don't have any rights. Since the day we were born, we've been living in wars. We didn't get our education or our certificates. Everyone outside is studying, but we haven't studied for 2 years.
12-year-old Lian longs for one thing, a normal life.
We didn't go to school like other children in the world. They get to wear new clothes, but we fill our bags with food from soup kitchens. We want to study this school year. I want to be the first in my school. I want to hold a pen and write with it like other countries.
For families here, the future is very uncertain. Israel's expanding offensive could make life in this camp even more dangerous.